Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to Habits by Tove Lo, cover by Postmodern Jukebox featuring Haley Reinhart. So I'm not really well familiar with the original singer-songwriter of this piece, but this particular song by Postmodern was heavily recommended, especially continuing with Haley Reinhart's music and just more of Postmodern's music in general. So I'm really excited to jump into this one. I have no idea what to expect, and I hope you guys are excited as well. So without any further delay, let's just jump into it. Something I noticed just before we get into it is that the drummer isn't being blocked by anyone. And I love this smiling energy he has. It's really endearing. It's almost as though he's saying, I'm not blocked. Oh my gosh. That's hysterical to me. No, but it's wonderful to see all of the musicians here in the frame.
Clubs, watching freaky people getting it on, and it doesn't make me nervous. If anything, I'm restless. Yeah, I've been around and I've seen it all. I get home, I got the munchies, binge out on my Twinkies, throw up in the tub, then I go to sleep, and I drink up all my money. It tasted kinda lonely. Well, you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind. Oh, high all the time to keep you off my mind. Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. Gotta stay high all my life to forget I'm missing you. I pick up daddies at the playground. That's how I spend my days now. Loosen up that frown, make them feel alive. Make it fast and make it greasy. I know I'm way too easy, but you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind. High all the time to keep you off my mind. Spend my days like the haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. I gotta stay high all my life to forget I'm missing you. Oh, staying in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end. Whoa, can't go home alone again. Need someone to numb the pain.
Yeah!
Staying in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end. Oh, yeah, no, I can't go home alone again. Need someone to numb the pain. Oh, you know I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind.
Woo! Yeah!
All the time to keep you off my mind. Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. Gotta stay high all the time to forget I'm missing you. Gotta stay high all the time to forget I'm missing you.
Woo! Yeah! Oh my gosh, dude, that was incredible. And also, regarding from what I said earlier in terms of not being familiar with the piece, I wasn't familiar with the title of the piece. I've definitely heard that song before. So, with that said, what an incredible performance, honestly. In comparison to some of the other pieces I've heard from Haley Reinhart so far in Postmodern Jukebox, is with the other Postmodern Jukebox songs, you have really wonderful musicians in the back with a striking vocalist in the front. And throughout the majority of the piece, at the least, your focus would primarily be on the vocalist who's doing all of these really incredible vocal riffs, adapting to a particular vocal style. And it's like watching the lead singer of a band, you know, you're enjoying the sound of the band, but your focus is on the lead singer. But in this piece in particular, something I really, really loved about it is the fact that, yes, my attention was on Haley throughout a lot of it, but my attention felt much more equally dispersed throughout the entirety of the group. I was looking a lot at the guitarist, the percussionist, the clarinetist, the double bassist, the pianist, because all of those different elements had so much, not just importance and relevance, but so much character and style. And to me, it felt like it was just as much as the leading vocalist, which is why my attention was dispersed, not just to Haley, even though my attention was given to her as well, but to the entirety of the group. And I really, really love that. So just something about me in general is I always love looking at the details of a bigger picture. It's kind of why I'm a nightmare to go to museums with, because when I see a painting or I see a particular sculpture or piece of art, I get really close to it. One, because my vision is horrible, but also mainly because I just love seeing the incredibly fine detail that goes into the work. Each brush stroke, the collages, perhaps, or the structuring of something made out of clay, or the painting and the type of paint used, and the vision that went into creating the piece itself, and what it reflects, what it represents to the person, and what it is that person is trying to convey through their art. And you just really get that, not just from Haley in this piece, but from the entirety of the group, just putting the pith of their connection to music in their musical lines, just creating this bigger picture. And I really, really dig it. I think they did such an amazing job adapting this piece. Scott is doing such an amazing job arranging all of these pieces for 20s, 30s, 60s, and 70s styles. And I love this aesthetic. And he's so intuitive and creative. And he's taking really great original concepts for songs, such as the original, and adapting them for either the same audience that they can enjoy the song in a new light, or perhaps even a new audience with this type of sound of music, this type of style. So, and I'm sure it's a strong mix of both. So I really love the fact that this piece was just so well-rounded. It's like if any of you have ever played a racing video game or Smash, and you guys pick Mario or the main cover character. That main cover character is usually the most well-balanced character, not full mastery in any one particular stat, but equally balanced throughout all of their stats. And I think those characters are typically the easiest to conquer the game with. You know, if you master something particularly but have strong weaknesses in other categories, you're going to have to utilize your strengths in a way that overcomes your shortcomings. And that could be a little bit more tricky to navigate, whereas if you're more well-balanced in multiple stats, it's considerably easier to navigate and put in a little extra effort to overcome challenges, but nothing too egregious if your skill is very lackluster in one particular stat. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is this piece was very well arranged. Everybody had so much passion in it, and you can feel it. Not just from Haley, even though her voice is remarkable, but just from all of the musicians. And it was really well executed, and I'm really excited to just jump into this analysis, just so I can listen to this piece again. And watch all of them just do their thing again. So let's just do that. I love right in the beginning, we have a very strong attack on that first chord on the piano. Bum! And then Haley turns around and very benignly and seductively just leads into this very gentle vocal fry and then begins to vocalize it a little bit more into her style. Oh, kind of vibe. I'm not that good at it, but you get what I'm trying to say. And just the fact that we have something very powerful, very strong, forte, fortissimo, or loud to very loud volume dynamic, and just coming in with this piano, mezzo piano vocal line, but with the microphone so it's just as audible. It's really well arranged in that way, just so we get these different dynamic contrasts. And it just traps you immediately in this level of musical intrigue. I love it. From the top. And I love the two musicians in the back there, just kind of vibing, just... I don't know how to express it. It's just such a fun look, especially from the drummer. Really happy, but both of the guys in the back there just doing their thing. I love that kind of personality they're putting into it. And beautiful piano lines, by the way.
I eat my dinner in my bathtub, then I go to sex clubs, watching freaky people getting it.
I love that vocal flair. Watching getting. Just going from these brighter vowels into these darker vowels, all within the same musical cadence. And it's not because of the words themselves particularly have dark vowels or bright vowels in them, even though they do naturally. But she's modifying the vowels to be a little bit more bold, maybe a little bit more aggrandized into the style. And I really dig that aesthetic.
I eat my dinner in my bathtub, then I go to sex clubs, watching freaky people getting it on, and it doesn't make me nervous if
This piano playing is incredible right here because you get this really consistent, smooth jazz kind of vibe, which is wonderful. But if you actually listen to the piano line, you can hear these really fun marcato lines, where marcato meaning very light, very bouncy, not quite as sharp and crisp as staccato of ba, ba, but more of ba, ba kind of feeling. And if you also look at his right foot, Scott's right foot on the piano, he's really playing around with that sustain pedal, just allowing certain chords to have a stronger line in that accompaniment, while some of those more marcato chords and passing notes are serving as strong accents for those more dominant leading chords. And he's doing such an amazing job going back and forth between them, creating this really smooth, jazz, seductive atmosphere. And on top of that, you also got the brushes on the percussion, and it's really smooth and very consistent, just kind of creating that very gentle white noise, while also having a strong foundation in the beat itself, and the double bass just rounding out that kind of sound, the guitar just rounding out that kind of sound, the clarinetist just adding a little bit more of that breath of life into the piece itself alongside the leading vocalist. Every instrument here is just so essential to bringing this piece to life, which is why I commented on everybody here in this frame is you just feel the equality of importance in each of these instruments, and I love that so much.
oh, getting it on, and it doesn't make me nervous. If anything, I'm restless. Yeah, I've been around and I've seen it all. I get home, I got the munchies, binge out on my Twinkies, throw up in the tub.
I love Haley's diction. I've never been able to understand the lyrics to this piece before listening to this, which I think is hysterical.
Twinkies, throw up in the tub, then I go to sleep, and I drank up all my money. It tasted kinda lonely. Well, you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time.
Oh, her passaggio work is incredible. Let's listen to that again.
Well, you're gone and I gotta stay high. Oh.
Stay high. Just having that gentle break in her voice. It was so seamless. Like, listen to that one more time.
Well, you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind.
Her vocal trills are incredible. Like, blink and you miss it. Or, I guess, the equivalent to your ears blinking, I guess. But blink and you miss it. It's just her vocal accents and trills are incredible.
Well, you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind.
And her scatting is just so gentle and smooth. It's like velvet.
To keep you off my mind.
Woo!
All the time to keep you off my mind.
And she just grows these lines so beautifully. To get you off my mind. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a magician just have an empty hand and then just pull something out of it. But that's what it feels like in this case, where you just get essentially this sensation where it feels like you have that empty hand, and then you get these beautiful accents of just growth coming out of seemingly nowhere, but it just flows so intrinsically that you can't help but just completely admire it and be wrapped in it. It's amazing.
All the time to keep you off my mind. Spend my days like
And that grit she just uses for accents, it's so wonderful.
Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. Gotta stay high all my life to forget I'm missing you.
Beautiful clarinet playing here.
All my life to forget I'm missing you.
And with the tandem and the piano in that, oh my gosh, beautiful sync there from the accompaniment.
Forget I'm missing you.
Woo!
I pick up
It gives me Charlie Brown Christmas vibes. I love it.
daddies at the playground. That's how I spend my days now. Loosen up that frown, make 'em feel alive. Make it fast and make it greasy. I know I'm way too easy, but you're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to keep you off my mind. High all the time to keep you off my mind.
Oh my gosh, I love the way she phrased that. Because right at the very end of that cadence, instead of having something a little bit more loud and strong to springboard off of into the next musical cadence, she actually decrescendos and utilizes those bolder vowels, those more rounder, darker vowels, and uses that as the foundation to springboard into the next line, but actually decrescendos the volume a little bit just to keep that musical intrigue alive, and I love that.
All the time to keep you off my mind. Spend my days like dinner haze.
Yeah, and because she decrescendoed there, she just gave herself so much more room to explode in this massive section. And it's just so well arranged and executed. It's amazing, dude.
Spend my days like dinner haze. Trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down.
And that clarinet just adding that extra emphasis on that power. Oh yeah, dude.
Days like dinner haze. Trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. I gotta stay high all my life to forget.
Back into this quiet. And she just barely creates an ooh sound in her lips. Just enough so that air can still pass through it and it's not a hum. But, oh, it's just so delicate in that moment. Oh, yeah, dude. Love that texture, that ambiance.
My life to forget I'm missing you. Oh, staying in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end.
Yeah, and just these rim shots on the drums here. Just very gentle, very light taps. But it just adds so much more texture to this particular musical section of the piece. And now because we're not getting a little bit of that white noise from the drums, we can hear the other instruments more clearly. Not to say that we couldn't before, but now since that white noise from the brushes are gone in this particular section, we get a little bit more of that sharpness from the other instruments, even though they're still being very delicate, very rounded, and not overtaking Haley in any way. You just get a stronger atmosphere from the other instruments, and I really appreciate that.
And in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end. Whoa, can't go home alone.
The guitar just adds so much because you couldn't really hear the guitar by itself throughout the piece up until this point, even though you could hear it being contributed and the guitar itself being heard. Now we're getting a little bit more of a distinct audio quality of it, and I really dig it.
Whoa, can't go home alone again. Need someone to numb the pain.
Oh, Haley's phrasing here is magic.
Home alone again. Need someone to numb the pain. Staying in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end. Oh, yeah, no, I can't go home alone again. Need someone to numb.
Beautiful crescendo throughout this entire musical section here. It just starts so small and it's just so gradual. It's no, all right, piano, mezzo forte, forte, or it's just no blocks of increasing dynamic. It's just this gentle yet very powerful growth in dynamic and volume. And that was really wonderfully done.
Staying in my play pretend where the fun ain't got no end. Oh, yeah, no, I can't go home alone again.
Yeah!
Need someone to numb the pain. Oh, you know I got to all the time.
Beautiful.
To keep you off my mind.
I've only ever met two people in my life that can whistle purely with lovely vibrato, and it is so extremely difficult to do that. As someone who naturally and more or less very easily applies vibrato to his own voice, applying vibrato to whistling while still maintaining that pure whistle tone is not easy. It is a skill in and of itself. Just because you've mastered vibrato in your voice does not mean you have mastered vibrato in a whistle, and it is so challenging to learn to utilize that as not just an independent skill, but utilize it in a piece where you don't have a ton of prep time to do it. It has to be second nature and something that you can confidently trust yourself in executing, which Haley does a wonderful job here. Really great stuff.
To keep you off my mind. Oh, all the time. To keep you off my mind. Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down.
But I fall back. Yeah. Cutting it after But I, really great stylistic choice there. I love the fact that it was connected and then there was a break after But I, because oftentimes when we're reading a book, let's say, we read a line, there's a period, we use that period as a place to breathe and begin the next line. Even if we're just reading inside our minds, we recognize that there's a period and then we pick up on the next sentence. But in music, there's an additional element of musical intrigue that just goes beyond the messaging, the lyrics. So the fact that you understand full sentences, but being able to have that cut after a particular line and then just pick it up immediately, it adds more of that musical intrigue. Like, let's listen to that again.
Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down.
Yeah, you just feel that flair coming through. Through my days, but I can't. Yeah, just love that so much, dude. I want to listen to that one more time. Sorry.
Spend my days like dinner haze, trying to forget you, babe, but I fall back down. Gotta say hi all the time.
Yeah.
To forget I'm missing you. Gotta
That clarinet is so smooth. Oh my gosh.
fall back down. Gotta say hi all the time. To forget I'm missing you. Gotta stay high all the time.
Beautiful vocal accent there from Haley. Hi. Oh. Just having that nice, beautiful note just taper into this very gentle vocal fry. Nothing too overdramatic or pronounced. It just tapers into that fry and leaves gently. I really love that execution. It's really easy to get lost in vocal fry and to muddle the sound, make it sound very unappealing. But she just has so much control over it, and I love this level of control.
Gotta stay high all the time. To forget I'm missing you.
Her ability to modify and manipulate vowels on just a singular word, on a singular vowel. So expertly done. Wow.
All the time. To forget I'm missing you.
Incredible stuff there by the clarinetist and Haley and the rest of the musicians, of course, but just that last section, oh my gosh.
I'm missing you.
Woo! Yeah, that was just incredible. Oh my gosh, I really, really loved that. They did such an amazing job with that piece. There was so much flair and charisma and humor and charm, and just every musician on that stage just embodied those attributes, and really amazing stuff, honestly. I really loved that. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to all of them, so please just know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into further consideration as I make future videos. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you guys would like to stop by and say hey or ask any questions about myself or the channel, you're more than welcome to do so. And I also leave all of the live streams up on YouTube, so feel free to check those out at your leisure. My Patreon is still under development, and I'm sorry that I keep saying it's always under development because I am working on it daily, but there's just so much happening in my life right now that it's taking me longer than I had anticipated. But it is being developed. There is a lot of content made for it already. I am almost done with it, but it is taking longer than I had hoped. So I really appreciate your patience in this regard. So thank you so much for that. I'm so deeply appreciative that all of you are here watching these videos and supporting me and the channel, and I can't express my gratitude enough. So, like I say at the end of each of these videos, and I really want to drive this home, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It really does mean a lot, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.